Hi, I'm Lori Blockus with Om Sweet Om Yoga in Spooner, Wisconsin. Today I'm going to show you how to transition from a downward facing dog forward to a lunge position. Kind of a common transition, but can be fairly difficult for a lot of people for various reasons. Usually it's a lack of core strength. So we're going to start in a downward facing dog position. So I'm going to have my hands just shoulder width apart on my mat. My toes are already tucked under behind me. And you'll want to check down at your hand position here. So focus on your wrist crease and try to make that parallel to the front edge of your mat. Get your shoulders in place, so we're really going to pull them down away from the ears and feel pretty stable there. You can kind of check your arm position here and make sure your shoulders are actually rotated correctly. If you were to bend your elbows even just a tiny little bit, they would be bending back behind you rather than pressing out to the side. So that'll help you know if your shoulders are in the right place. So we're going to press down quite a bit through the hands and the feet. Draw in and up through the core and shift the hips back and up. You want to be sure that your sit bones are lifting here, so we don't want this kind of rounded out lower back position. Even if you have to have your heels well away from the floor and your knees quite bent, if that's what it takes to actually lift the sit bones up, go ahead and do that. That's not a problem. Now your shoulder position is going to stay essentially the same in a sense that your shoulder blades will be sliding away from the head and your arms will keep that same rotation, even as we slide forward to our lunge. So what I'm going to do is press down quite a bit through the left foot and both hands. And with an inhale, I'm just going to sweep a straight right leg up toward the ceiling. Now this can be an optional motion, but it's a really nice way to put some strength in the gluteal muscles and the hamstrings. So with the exhale, I'm going to bend my foundational limbs. So a little bend in the elbows, a little bend in the left knee. Draw in and up through my deep core, and as I breathe out, I'm going to shift everything forward. So my belly is really lifting with the core here, and my knees just moving toward my nose. Shoulders are going to be stacked over your wrists. So we can inhale here and do that one more time. As you exhale, pull everything forward and then just pull that foot forward to a lunge position. Once you're here, you can take time to get a little more length in the spine. So my foot has landed just inside my right thumb. It's not in the center of my hands, and this means that my feet are going to be about hip width apart. Once you're here, if it feels like it's too much work, you can drop the back knee, come up on the fingertips. If the flat hands feels a little too low, that's fine. And it's a similar process just to get back to your down dog. So really press down through your hands and that back foot. Draw in and up a lot through the core. So you can just press that leg back. So it's inhale, leg sweeps up. Exhale, watch out for obstacles as you pull the leg forward and land the foot just inside the right thumb. So what might happen if you don't have enough core strength is you feel like you're getting stuck halfway through the motion. So there are a couple ways that you can deal with that. The first one would be to just give yourself a little boost. So if I were to inhale and sweep my left leg up here, if I don't have the core strength, I'm not going to get a lot of height in my body, and your foot might feel like it only gets to here. This is okay. Just shift your weight to the opposite side, grab the ankle, and give it a boost forward, and here you are right back in your lunge. Again, you can drop the back knee down if that feels more appropriate. The other thing you could consider is giving yourself more height artificially. So if your body can't get the lift itself through your muscular action, just add a couple blocks. So this is how I would hold my blocks. Arms would be extending out in a downward facing dog. So my wrist crease is still going to be parallel to the front of the mat versus if I held them like this, that would put a lot of weird twist and pressure on my wrists. So still shoulder width apart, essentially nothing's really changed in the arms and the shoulders. My elbows would still bend back behind me. Coming into your downward facing dog. Inhale, sweep the leg up. And as you exhale, even if you don't have that height through the hips, you're going to have a lot more height due to the blocks under the hand. And you would just run that foot right up on the inside of the block instead of the thumb. The thumb's right there too. This is also a nice option if you're dealing with some sort of a body blockage, like if you have a little extra weight, or maybe very excessively muscular, so like guys can get bigger chests, maybe have a bigger belly, well-endowed ladies essentially, any reason that your body is just getting in its own way. The blocks under the hands can give you a nice help with that. The other option would be to send that lunging leg out just a little bit wider. So with my left leg here, I'll get rid of my blocks. What you would do from your downward facing dog is still sweep that leg up if it suits you. Same motion coming forward, but when you feel like something's getting in the way of that lunging leg, let it sweep out a little bit wider and step it outside the hand. Now again, you could still drop the back knee if you felt like keeping the leg up was too much work. And we're still going to have this lunging knee stacked over the ankle, and just have your kneecap pointing in the same direction as your toes. So that'll help to keep it a nice safe posture while you're working toward a more complete version of the posture with the foot inside the hand and next to the thumb. So that's our downward facing dog to a lunge transition, and a nice way to build some core strength and some upper body strength. Thanks for joining me. Namaste.